Hey guys, it's that well-requested rock texture / cave scene you wanted. Nurlocks not included. So I'm working on a dummy, but it's exactly the same for a ganached cake. The steps for making ganache and also applying it to get the sharp edges are linked in the description box below, along with all the materials I'm using. I've stuck this 8-inch dummy to a drum with chocolate and let it set. Next, grab a drum or cake card the same size to use as a guide. Place this onto some foam core. This is to extend the roof of the cake and add interest to the design. I'm using 5mm foam core or foam board and cutting a freehand wiggly rocky line to extend past that 8-inch circle. Check you're happy with your size, and remember that if this is a real cake and you're going to be placing a tier above this, you will need to dowel your cake before you stick the foam core on. That will then hold the weight of the cake above it just like normal. Melt some chocolate to stick it down. You can also use royal icing. If it's a real cake, you want to dampen your ganache layer with water to stick sugar paste to. As I'm using a dummy, I'm coating it all in veg fat, which goes by Trex in the UK or Crisco in the US. To see why I use veg fat on my dummies, take a look at my dummy stripping video, which I'll leave linked at the end of this one. With any spare paste, add in shapes by squashing ridges, blobs and points all over the sides and base. You could of course also use cake pop mix, which is your cake cut-offs mixed with buttercream to make a dough-like mixture. Now I'm adding more veg fat to these pieces to make them a little sticky. You can use water if yours is real cake. Place a cake card on top that's the same size as the next tier so you can see where you can add the small lumps for rocks without them getting in the way. Roll out some white paste and then roll it into a sausage to make it easier to handle. You don't want to roll it too thin as we're going to create texture and ridges, so some areas will thin out as you do this. Unroll the paste around the cake and the foam core, easing it into the spaces as you go. Don't worry if it doesn't reach, as it can easily be pieced together. Using your fingers, pinch the smooth rounded edges into ragged uneven points. Push the lumps and shapes into sharp edges all the way around, and also the lumps on the foam core. Place your cake card back on top and cut off the excess paste so there's room for it to fit. Yay, time to bust that tin foil out again. As you scrunch up the foil, you can see it creates lots of spikes and texture on the surface. Roll 2 pieces loosely into sausages and use these together to texture all the paste. Having them on either side of the paste helps keep the points you made with your fingers. To add extra interest, grab a ball tool, any will do, and randomly push holes of various depths into some areas. Continue around until you've done the whole thing. With just your fingers, tinfoil and a ball tool, you should have something a little like this. To add stalactites and stalagmites, roll some carrot shapes and then use 2 flattened pieces of foil to roll it between to give it the same texture. Then stick this to the other paste with water. let's get some colour on it. I'm using black airbrush colour and giving the whole thing a light coating of grey. You can see the colour sits on the surface but leaves all the texture and the hole marks white. To see it come to life, grab a spray bottle of water and spritz the whole thing. It will go darker and run into all the details. The holes are now dark. Take some kitchen towel and gently dab away the excess water. The paste will go pale again, but you need this step to fill the texture holes. Look at all that. Now if you're going for rock, you can go over it again in grey to darken it, or add a few green and brown patches. I'm doing a specific cave, hence why I'm using indigo blue by Fractal Colours. My cave also has sparkles, so I'm using some sugar crystals. They come in different colours, such as this purple and yellow. You can also get good old trusty white sparkling sugar by Wilton. This sticks super easy to the airbrush when it's still wet. Just launch crystals all over your kitchen and some are bound to hit and stay on your cake. I added white and purple on mine. Then all you have to do is let it dry. It looks rather grey under my kitchen lights and the white balance on my camera, but in person it's a much deeper, vibrant blue, as you'll see in the following pictures. Hope you find this useful. If you did, please consider sharing it with someone you know it might help. The more of you watch, the longer I can keep creating tutorials. So your shares, likes and comments are all super appreciated and also very helpful. Thanks guys, see you next week.